Hello and welcome to Should I Buy Games. My name is Connor Evans, and today I will be discussing the highly anticipated PlayStation VR. PSVR is Sony's upcoming effort to get into the VR department of gaming. It's a huge movement, and the competition is heating up with the Oculus and Vive coming out just a few months beforehand. I recently got to go hands-on with PSVR, and as a skeptic, I can confidently say now that this will be the future of gaming. It may not stack up to its competitors, but at the price point of $400 for the base unit and $100 for peripherals that you may already own, I believe the PSVR has the highest chance of breaking into a mainstream audience. Many of you might be on the fence about picking up PSVR and being what is referred to as an early adopter of the hardware. So, do I think it's worth it to make the $500 investment on day one? Well, that really depends on many different factors. One of those being disposable income. Let's face it, PSVR is essentially the equivalent of buying a new console, and dropping that kind of money on a system that only is going to have a few experiences to boot doesn't sound very appealing. That's the thing, we really aren't going to have a full 10 plus hour game when this bad boy comes out, just a handful of 1 to 2 hour experiences that, granted, look pretty great, but likely won't suffice the hunger for a hefty VR experience. And for me, that's okay. VR is going to be all about setting your expectations at the right level. We saw this most recently with No Man's Sky. Granted, Hello Games sorta kinda lied to us to get our expectations to an unsurmountably high level, but the consumer did play their hand in convincing themselves that it would be more than a randomly generated Minecraft clone. Playing Eve Valkyrie in VR was one of the most unbelievable experiences I've had playing a video game. When people say, "Oh, you feel like you're actually there," they mean it. The grin on my face could not have been more ridiculous looking as I looked out into the vastness of space, with enemy ships whizzing by as I laid on the trigger firing at my enemies. It was a religious experience, and then it was over. I was sold, and the idea of hopping in, playing Super Hypercube, Batman Arkham VR, or even Eve Valkyrie for just 20 minutes a day excites the hell out of me. We aren't going to be playing your favorite FPS in VR anytime soon, but these small experiences, for some, will be enough to get in on day one. I personally will be waiting till Christmas time for a few more games to come out and to get closer to Resident Evil 7, which I believe will be the first must-own title for the hardware. But what about uses outside of gaming? That's where I get really excited, and for a combined price of around $800 for the PS4 and PSVR, I think someone who doesn't play games can see this as a worthwhile investment to experience a mid-tier VR unit. I think Sony is extremely smart to get in on the ground floor because who knows what we could be using VR for in the future. Things that get me really excited are being able to see some of my favorite bands live, or going to see the New England Patriots play through a VR lens seems like a really different and novel experience. Not to mention other practical applications like teaching a practice or using it to video chat with family members that live far away. The ideas with VR go as far as our imagination will take us, and I think for the average consumer, PSVR will be the best way to get your hands on these experiences. In the words of President of Sony Interactive Entertainment, Sean Layden, talking on the subject of PSVR, saying, quote, "This is step one in a very long journey. We're all in. We've put it all on the table, and I like our chances. This isn't another Kinect or PlayStation move. VR is here to stay, and I hope you feel at least a little more compelled to look into trying it out after watching this video. I'm a believer, and you should be too." What are your thoughts on PSVR, or VR in general? Are you excited, or do you think it will fall flat? Tell me what you think in the comments below. If you liked the video and want to see more, be sure to click on that subscribe button to stay up to date on all Should I Buy Games content. And remember, let me waste money so you don't have to.